Right, we are live streaming. 1 second, I'm just going to check. If you are here and you can see me, do drop a comment down below. I appreciate. Unfortunately, I didn't set it up last week, so obviously it might be that you like, oh my god, like what's Tom doing? So we'll have a quick look at that and just see if we can. If you've got any questions, let me know down below and I'll answer them. So this is the weekly Fast Track FBA live. And I'm just going to check to see here. So 2 seconds. There's one of the settings that I need to change. So if you've got questions, drop them down below. But I do need to quickly just change something on one of the groups. So it says live streaming isn't able. Open your group settings in the post format and section. Click see all. So oh my god, I'm kind of getting into figuring out. So if you guys have got questions, drop them down below. Also, I'll get them answered. The one thing which I will say is. I just gotta do that. Can I change that? That's fine. One thing I will say is obviously it's Q4 now. We are in Q4, and I'd love to share some top tips with you about Q4 and things you're doing, and also as well what's going on with myself. So if you don't know, obviously in the USA we just broke the 7-figure mark, so we're a 7-figure Amazon seller in the USA plus the UK. Really happy with that. If one second, drop your questions below, and I will answer them live. Cool, let's drop that in. So drop your questions down below and I'll answer them live. Fantastic. So Q4 is coming up. So I just basically, if you want to know, I do this weekly live. I do this live every week, and it's really to support you guys and just to answer questions and to kind of share and help you out with your Amazon businesses. So obviously I'll stay here until probably we've got all the questions have been answered. So do drop your questions down below. But if you're doing Q4 this year, a couple of things I really want to recommend for you right now. So let's just talk about dates. Really, Q4. We are technically in Q4, but everyone talks about the Q4 madness. It's really not going to get busy until about mid-November. That's when sales start picking up, and then it will start gradually going up and up and up until probably around late December. And then obviously they drop off around kind of like the 22nd, 23rd of December, I think it'll be. So that's something to think about, but really want to be getting your stock purchased today and then shipped in. That's an important point. And then really the one thing which I say is after about probably the 12th, 15th of December, you probably don't want to be shipping in any more Q4 stock. It's all the stock which will be selling into Q1 as well. So sales will go up around mid-November, and then until probably about the 23rd, and then they'll drop down. And then after that is Q4 stock. You should probably stop about mid-December, but you do need to ramp it up before. Just like I promise you, it will just go crazy. Like So that's something that to be really considerate about buying for Q4. Also, as well, if you can get money access to credit now, that's the most important thing. When you need money or you need deals, you're just not going to have time to go and fetch it. That's the most important thing. So get credit cards, call the credit card company, increase your loan size, get overdrafts, etc. Those things you want to do today. If you don't do them today, it's not going to help you out in when you need it. It's too slow. You can't call the credit card company like, hey, can I have more money right now? They'll be like, yeah, we'll send a review 3 weeks later. We'll give it to you. You need that today. A couple of questions coming in, so let's kind of have a little look. Facebook user said, any changes in the OA business model you're expecting going into 2023 for beginners and advanced folks? It's a really good question. Just give me a second to think. So I think. So what am I seeing? Let me put it this way. In the UK, I'm seeing a decrease in margin. There's more competition. Also as well, I generally say it because also COVID's been and gone. So I do generally believe you need to build teams. Like I generally believe that because it's getting harder and harder for the solo entrepreneur to do this because because it's like 8 hours to find deals every day you got to do. Like it's a long time. But if you build teams using teams in the Philippines, for example, it works really well. Hence why I have an army of VAs. I think that is generally where it's going to go. And I think it's, you're having to go more and more in that. If you're not, the only other way you can really do it is by going very, very, very niche. If I talk about a lot of people, they're doing like unique bundles. They're going down like, like kind of like creating their own kind of products, or like, again, bundling is your own product creation. Or maybe they're going into areas that people don't really know about, or even outside of OA into wholesale around the relationship side. It's quite hard to get VAs to build the wholesale side, build relationships. So I think if you're going to scale OA, you're either going to do it through, should say, unique bundles approach, possibly as an individual seller. But if like that has a limit, and then you've got to build teams. I really do believe that. What else do I see? I also see it's getting less and less problems. Like IP complaints are less of a problem. So I think you're going to have a lot more access to that. We're seeing it in the US, if you want to know. Amazon are getting quite worried about Walmart And as a result, I think also as well, you're going to start seeing a bit into Walmart as well in the US, if you can look at that, because Walmart now are just accepting everyone. They never used to do that. They're quite restrictive. Now they're accepting everyone pretty much. I know people who applied 3 times, they were being rejected, and then Walmart emailed them back and said, hi, we saw you applied 3 times. We'd now like to invite you in. Like, we're so sorry for this, accept. So I think you're going to start seeing a bit more transition across to that. Also, Walmart are doing the distribution in the US, same as FBA and the Amazon. I think that's really interesting. Diversification of platforms, obviously margins. What else have we got? I'm not too sure what's happening, but the new Amazon API change from what's known as the old API to the SP API has given us a lot more access to data. It's not as fast, but I do think you're going to see a lot of interesting things around that. Like for us within the Amazon Arbitrage lead service, we're going down the route whereby we're going to be able to show you, we'll only show you deals that you'll be able to sell. Like, and put it very specifically clearly, it's like, we will never show you an Amazon Arbitrage lead in our lead service that you are gated in. Like right now it isn't there, but we will get there, and we can see that we can do that. We have the functionality to do it. So I think that's a really interesting place. You'll get a lot around repricing. Generally, like more competition. I think just generally building teams, and it's going to come more of a volume game. Like really, it will. Yeah, I don't know if it's like strategies. What are we doing? Yeah, more structured, more systematic. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing with the Seller Academy. You know, we're like, if you want to know, the Seller Academy is like our private group of, should we say, sellers who are like working very closely with myself, and then we basically copied all of our frameworks, all of our models, everything that we do, which allowed me to grow 2 7-figure businesses. And really, it's the frameworks. Like, how do I manage 88 staff across 3 companies and still travel the world? And by the way, I'm in Mexico and they're in the Philippines. We're in the opposite time zone. How do we do that? I've documented it. We created these frameworks which really support our business, KPIs, accountability, dashboards, all of this. And it just makes managing the business really, really simple as you build teams. And we put all that together in the Seller Academy. And I generally believe that's going to be a way that using those frameworks are going to have those kind of like, that's going to help you scale businesses. And I don't think right now people are doing that. You see so many people talking about like, do it yourself, don't build teams, you don't need an army of VAs, it's not worth it, or even hire your own VAs, and that's fine. But like, I generally believe teams are the way it's going to be. I think that. Really great question. A really great question. Is there anything maybe you're looking at for beginners and advanced folks? And let me know down below. I'd be very interested. Like maybe there's something you're seeing that I'm not. But hey, great question. Let's have a quick look through what does the deal sheet include. So if you're talking about like the Amazon Fast Track FBA leads, this is our lead service at a very fundamental level. Most other lead services, they'll give you like a Google sheet with like 10 deals a day, for example, and they'll share that between 50 sellers, which I just don't really like. 2 things. Number 1, they tell you what deals you need to have. And then number 2, 50 sellers, my God, if they all buy it, good luck. Like that listing's dead. So what do? We do it slightly differently. We basically, I used to have a sourcing team for my business and a lead sourcing team for the lead service. We found out they were on like 75% of the same deals. It was a bit stupid. So we just merged them all into one. We've moved them into my business now. So we've got like a lot of sources in my business. So instead of like finding the same deals, they're now spreading out, finding lots of different deals, different suppliers. It's really good. Like really like that. Also as well, what we do is we take all the deals that we find and we also show them in our lead service. And so you get access to the 7-figure sourcing team for the US or the 7-figure sourcing team for the UK. I think it's probably like 20 VAs in the US and 25, 30 VAs in the UK. And at a very fundamental level, what we do in our lead service, instead of giving you like a Google sheet with these 10, we basically, we create a platform, we show you every single deal we find, and it comes in live. And we update the information and we show you like the keeper chart, the buy box price now, the buy box 90 days. You can put in your fees and we'll calculate the profit for you and show you that information. You can look at the products and see which ones you like. We do hide the Amazon ASIN and the supplier URL. And once you look at the data, because really at the end of the day, we look at the data of the product. Once you find the data of the deals that you like that deal I like and that one I like, you can unlock them using tokens, which you buy from us. And then quite simply, you get the Amazon ASIN and supplier URL, buy low, so high. Any problems, you can get a refund as well. And also as well, like other deal sheets will do like 55 limited. We'll limit down. UK is 5 plus ourselves. US is 10 plus ourselves. So we really reduced down the number of competition on the listing because we think that was much better. But that's pretty much it. If you want to know more, fasttrackfba.com/leads. That'll get you get access, or you can just go to the Fast Track FBA website and see it. We'll show you all the data there. Let's jump through. Sorry, Norman. How long does it take the whole process, start to finish, for first sale take? Long story short, if the way we kind of calculate it is, you're probably going to buy a product today, and like in our business, we buy it and we've got it sold on average, I think, in about 23 days. Like, we're pretty fast. We're quite aggressive in our pricing. Most people, I generally say, about a month and a half, say 45 days. Why? You'll buy it, it'll be shipped in within a month. It'll probably get sold maybe like 2 to 4 weeks after that. But worst case scenario, it should be sold within 2 months. So the whole journey should take between 1 to 3 months, ideally about 2 months from buy to sell, and that's it. So I hope that makes sense. And then you've got to add another 2 weeks on the end to get the money back. Hope that answers your question. Let's go through, how do you budget your money when you're buying a ton of inventory every day, but the payments are coming in a lot slower? Great question, really, really great question. Go to Fast Track FBA, Fast Track FBA YouTube channel, and just type in cash flow. I promise you, this is one of the best things you'll ever do or buy. I talk you through my whole sheet, how I use a sheet, and I created an Excel spreadsheet, which we really thought about this problem. We test it, we use it, we solved it, and we have a cash flow sheet. It costs $30 or £30. It's like nothing, but I literally talk you through exactly how we do our cash flowing, and it's exactly this question: how do you manage your money when you have lots of inventory you're buying and the payments coming in slower, and you have expenses going out? It's how do you cash flow? And literally, this cash flow sheet tells you how to manage your cash flow every single week. And we use this for both businesses in the USA and the UK. It can work if you're doing like, £2,000-3,000, like a month in sales. Up to us, we do 400,000 during Q4 last year in sales using cashback, credit cards, charge cards, Amazon disbursements. It works really, really well. So long story short is we kind of like, we use that sheet, and I'd really recommend doing it. And there's a couple of videos about it. Doesn't matter which one you look at, Fast Track FBA YouTube channel, and then the cash flow video, just search for that. There's like 2 or 3 of them, and they all go to the same sheet, so don't worry about it. But I think that'll be helpful for you. Check that out. I think you'll like it. I got some more about the deal sheet, so I've answered that one already. But oh, by the way, Kelly, if that's helped, just drop me down below like a comment like, yes, Tom found it. If not, I will find the link for you, and obviously share the link down below. But if you can't find it, do let me know. Facebook user, did someone say wholesale? I love it. Cool. Fantastic. And I think, my God, there's so many different models. I met some guys doing 20 million in the US on Amazon, and then doing 180 million in distribution sales. I was like, wow, I did 207 million this last 12 months. I was like, incredible. But I will do an interview with them. I'm going to go meet them. They said I can come to their warehouse and meet them, which would be really interesting. So watch this space. That's US, by the way, not pounds. Rakesh Patel. I'm based in the UK and I'm a newbie. Just found your channel. I'd like to make a minimum of £1,000 per month. How much do I need to start, and where would you start to begin? It's a great question. I'll give you my rough calculations off the back of a cigarette paper, or back of an envelope. So this is kind of like, and by the way, this isn't perfect. This is like a guess thing. So if you're going to do £1,000 per month, I'm going to kind of try and lowball it. I think you could probably do a bit higher than this, but try and lowball. So let's say, for example, you want to do 1,000 a month. Let's do the calculations. So if you're going to do 1,000 per month, and I'll see if I can I share, present, screen share. Okay, go. And I want to do a window. Let's share my calculator. Here we go. You can see my calculator. Woohoo! Cool. So let's say, for example, we want to do 1,000 a month. Now, I'm going to assume we're operating at a 10% net profit. So we're going to need to do £1,000 growth net profit you want to make. You need to do 10 times that in sales. So we want to do divided by 0.1. Here's where my math is going to go really bad. So you probably need to do about 10,000 in sales per month, for example. Now, if you're going to do 10,000 in sales per month, what I really recommend as well is the case that you're going to be like, if you think about the model, you buy something for £10, you sell it for 20. So you buy it for half the price you sell it for. So if we're going to sell it for 10,000, we're probably going to need, should we say, half of that in inventory. So that's 5,000 in inventory that we're going to need in a month. So we buy £5,000 worth of goods, for example. We sell it for 10,000. After all our costs, we make about 10% net, which is £1,000 after. Fantastic. Now the next question is, once you've got the 5,000 in goods, do I just need to buy 5,000 and that's it? Well, the answer is if you I talked about it earlier, generally you probably want about 3 months worth of inventory. Why? Because what you buy today, you're going to buy, ship in, it's going to wait on sale for a bit in Amazon, get sold, and then you've got 2 weeks to wait before the money comes back. So if we talk about 3 months to shift that whole inventory round or turn it, you're probably going to need 3 months of inventory. So 5,000 this month, 5,000 next month, and 5,000 months after. And then obviously you can cycle that money well enough. So times that by 3, that's going to give you 15,000. So long story short, if you're looking, and I say this, and I'm lowballing these numbers. I know a lot of people, and I see Daniel Gilmore's on the comments. He says, "Yo, Tommy," and I'll just see in a minute. But also, if you want to know, watch his. There's a video I did with him on the Fast Track FBA YouTube channel, where it's like Dan Gilmore. And by the way, the numbers I'm talking about here, he absolutely smashed. And this is like staying below the VAT threshold. So you can definitely beat this. Adding cashback credit cards, you can beat this. It is possible. But I'm just trying to give you like a low ball number. Or should you say like a very conservative number? So I think if you have 15,000 to invest in, do I think you can make 1,000 per month? Yeah, definitely. I think you can do that. But it does take time, so just be mindful of that. So, but do watch the Daniel Gilmore. I think that's going to be really helpful video. But to answer your question, 1,000 per month. 15,000 investment. And let's be crystal clear. I'm not even saying 15,000 investment cash you need. You need access to that amount of cash. So that could be that you have, let's call it 7,000 on cash and 8,000 on credit card. That's now total 15,000. I think it's very doable. So definitely do it. Also watch the Daniel Gilmore interview. So let's kind of minimize that. Where are we now? Here we go. Daniel Gilmore. Yo, Tommy. I say, hey, Daniel, congratulations on being a father. Loving it, honestly. And if you want, if you do want to know, I've done 2 videos with Daniel. Do check out my YouTube channel. So we did one which was like, I think it's called like £80 per hour, which is what he earned before VAT registration in the UK. Then we did another one after VAT registration. And what was really funny is he had the kind of idea that you can't break through VAT registration. You know, like if I'm going to do this, it's going to be more administration, it's going to be more work. I don't really want to do it. And he purposely kept below the VAT threshold. And then what was really interesting is he did break through it. And what was funny is now he makes even more money. And even by his own admission, he does less work. So bravo, absolutely love that, Dan. Honestly, absolutely doing a fantastic job. Well done, and obviously now a happy father. So let's crack on. N and N. Is it possible to earn 5,000 a month on Amazon? Yeah, like I'd probably ask I'd probably just ask the question like, could you earn $1 million? Yeah, of course you could. There are people earning $1 million selling on Amazon, like per month, even if you wanted to. It's just a numbers game. You have a lot of scaling problems, but can you earn 5,000? Yeah, absolutely no problem, no issue there. You can do more than 5,000 in cashback. Yeah, you could just do that. I think we're probably quite close to that, if not beat it some months. So yeah, you can do that. Absolutely no problem. Let's go through. Sophia A. When doing Amazon flips, do you buy with your Amazon business account or regular account? Okay, so let's be crystal clear. I don't do Amazon flips. I used to, about 3 years ago, but I don't anymore. There's no clear guidance on this, and people do it. But the one thing which I'm very aware of is, so I'm not saying you should do Amazon flips, but what I am saying is if you do Amazon flips, you should never, ever, ever use Amazon Prime shipping to get it from Amazon to you or to your warehouse. And it might be and let's be crystal clear, if you have an Amazon Prime account, sometimes you can't opt to pay for shipping. You can only use the Prime shipping method. It's the only way Amazon will let you buy that product. And in that case, you shouldn't be buying it through the Prime account. Why? Because it makes very clearly states within Amazon's terms and conditions, you are not eligible to use your Prime shipping for the purposes of resale. Like it says, you are not, like literally just type in like resale and in the terms and conditions of Prime membership, and that is one of the terms and conditions against it. And the reason why I say that is because you'll probably know a lot of people right now who are doing this. They're actually using their Prime shipping to do it. But I've seen it time and time again where Amazon has a habit of, they have something in the rules, they don't enforce it, and then a year later they decide to enforce it, and they enforce it retrospectively. So they'll go back to all the people who've broken that rule and they'll ban them. And let's be crystal clear, if your Prime account is linked to your selling account, and bang, now your selling account's gone as well. So we've just seen that. It's been an absolute like pain. So long story short, coming back to your question, is if you are going to do Prime things, and I don't do them, but my understanding of the situation is I'd use a regular account on a different email address, preferably not even on the same computer and probably a separate IP address to my selling account. Why? Because if the purchasing account got banned for some reason, I would not want it to ban my selling account. That'd be what my thoughts are. Hope that makes sense. Sonia, let me know down below if that's helpful. Let's kind of jump through. Delvin, fantastic. Congratulations on 23.8. Big boy numbers. Fantastic. Cool. Thank you so much. 23.8, very specific there. 25 maybe, 20, cool. 23.8, damn right, that's a new million. Who needs 7 figures when you've got 23.8? Absolutely love it. But hey, thank you so much, really appreciate it. And obviously if you're subscribing, thank you so much as well. Hopefully the channel's added value. And it's really nice to give back, it really is. I do like sharing, and hopefully you find that even like these lives quite useful. So, but yeah, thank you so much. Let's kind of jump through. Kelly, yes, thanks, Tom. Cool, Kelly, fantastic. What was the question you asked? How do you get your money when you're buying a ton of inventory? Yeah, check the cash flow sheet. I promise you, like, it's going to change the game. Let's jump through. Do you solely buy from online stores? From how many stores do you purchase your products? Rough estimate, best way to find additional online stores. Oh my God. Yes, we do buy only from, like, don't go wrong, we do wholesale. I think like 40,000 a month. Out of 300,000 total, so it's not huge. 1/6 of our UK revenue. US we don't. It's all wholesale, all OA. Sorry. So majority of my revenue is OA. How do you find more stores? I really recommend doing reverse sourcing. Like, it's a really good methodology. But how many stores? I couldn't tell you to even save my life. Like, I would be so far off. We give out the top 3 100s list, which is our top 100 suppliers. And go to the YouTube channel, you'll find that, and they're good stores. Like, I promise you, statistically speaking, they're the best stores you want to go to. But I know for a fact, that we have over 1,000. I probably wouldn't be surprised if we had 5,000 stores in our database that we've found. I'm not saying we've bought from, but we've found maybe even 10,000. You know, when you've got like 30 VAs doing lots of reverse sourcing, putting deals through, they'll probably find deals from a lot of random stores. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. You know, a lot of those stores would just be like useless. But there are so many out there reverse sourcing. Look, and let's be crystal clear. The one thing I should really say for you is, like, at the end of the day, you can go and find as many new stores as you want. But if those new stores aren't delivering, number one, deals to purchase, and then number two, actual profit at sale, they're probably not worth it. And for us within the USS, the Ultimate Sourcing Sheet, we track this automatically. And the USS does that automatically. It tracks all your purchases. It generates reports on where you're spending your money, but also it generates reports on where you're actually getting your revenue, should we say, like where the sales are coming from and the profitability. And if you haven't looked at it, do check out Fast Track FBA. And you could do, I think it's resources in US Ultimate Sourcing Sheet. It does exactly this. But so, long story short, think about the 80-20 principle. 80% of your revenue comes from 20% of your work. Well, it's really like 20% of the stores that you buy from generate 80% of your revenue. That's true. Like, it's really true. And the same with profitability. Just be mindful of that. You can find new stores. It's not always worth it. Just a curiosity, if you're comfortable to say, how much were you making monthly in your first year doing FBA? Oh, I'll be very honest. My first year of FBA, I lost money. So I was making nothing. Actually, I lost money. Why did I lose money in my first month's FBA? Well, I was paying myself, like, I think it was like £700, the minimum you can pay yourself in the UK. But once we took into account I did 6 figures in my first year, but once we take into account the cost of the business, my salary I got paid, and stuff, we were actually losing money. Why? Because I wasn't managing my VAs very well. Like, I was managing them really bad. Like, what we were doing is, number one, I was just looking at number of deals. I wasn't even looking at spend. I was like looking at how many deals they finding. Cool, we found like 10 deals, great. We'd buy like 1 or 2 or something, and it wouldn't really work. And as a result, we just weren't making enough money. But since then, we've learned so much. Like, the metrics you want to be measuring if you want to know about VAs, and we do this in the Fast Track FBA VA Academy. And by the way, we support you. It's all down here, documented. You get everything: support calls, aftercare, everything. Deals are great. They're good to start off with, but really we recommend transitioning to spend. And then once you transition to spend, use something like the Ultimate Sourcing Sheet and then track to actual profit generated. That's the most important thing. So actual profit generated is the one thing that you really want to do, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many deals you buy. If they're not generating profit at sale, it's wasting your time. So long story short, don't make the same mistakes I did. Just buy a VA from Fast Track FBA and copy what we do. Like, there's a reason why we've managed to build 2 7-figure businesses. We figured out a lot of stuff, but also we failed in a lot. Don't reinvent the wheel. If you want to know, I've been to a lot of events this year, like Tony Robbins' Business Mastery, and I kind of take away like, what are your top learnings? One of my personal top learnings is that, like, I'm an entrepreneur, and same as you guys probably, is that we all like to think we're better. And I'm not saying like we actually think that, but we like to think we're quite intuitive or like imaginative, and we can solve problems, because what we do, we solve problems. And what do I do? Like, I'm like, oh my god, man, oh, I can do this better, I can do it. And I kind of learned something, is that the saying I have to myself is, Tom, stop trying to reinvent the wheel. First things first, just copy what other people do. You've got to pay for access to that. And by the way, I pay for access to Tony Robbins. I pay for access to other people. I have coaching. I pay for access to like people's courses. I want to learn what they know. First of all, copy what the experts are doing. Do that first. Then once you put in their systems, see the results it gets. And then, only then, do you start changing. But what I was doing is, like, the classic example was like, it's kind of like, here's a how-to video. What I would do, I would watch like the whole series of videos, then I'd go back and try and implement. And as a result, I'd remember 20%, I'd implement 20%, and then I'd go back and be like, well, that didn't work, so I'm wasting my life. And you know what I learned? I learned that actually, Tom, you need to watch the video, and when they say do something, you press stop, and then you just do it. And then you carry on pressing play and carry on. And why do I say this? Is because I think as entrepreneurs, and I'm really probably talking for my own sake, so if you're not doing this, well done. But if you are doing this, I promise you, please, 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 for the love of God, don't try and reinvent the wheel. Just copy someone else, what they're doing, get to the result they're getting first. And then once you've got that result, or you put in their processes, and it's really the systems that they built, then innovate from there onwards. Don't try and reinvent the wheel, because you're just being stupid. Like, my God, like, I'd like to think I'm reasonably successful, 2 7-figure businesses and another one, but my God, I have so many things I'm just stupid about. Like, it's absolutely crazy. So yeah, I just thought I'd share that with you. But like, when you talk about how much money you're making in the first year, fantastic. I didn't make any, I lost money. And I lost it because of VAs. And if you are thinking about getting a VA, or you've got one already, like, I generally believe, my hand on heart, I believe this, like, you will do very well, even just buying one VA from us in the Fast Track FBA VA Academy, which will support you in understanding the right processes and having access to my team on a weekly support call that's going to help you out. Enough about that. Let's move on. Great question, though. Suf, would you recommend hiring 2 VAs at once or 1 VA at a time? It's up to you. The big question I would ask is, do you have time? Number 1, you should know what you're doing. Number 2, you should be profitable. And number 3, you should have at least 1 hour per day that you can spend per VA. So if you want to hire 2, you need 2 hours per day, Monday to Friday, that you can spend with them. Why? You can do it together. It's just a lot harder. Ideally, you want to spend 1 hour per VA per day to support them. And by the way, 3 months down the line, you're not going to do, but for the first month, at least you should allocate that time. And the reason is they're going to have questions. Maybe their sourcing isn't going to be on point. Maybe there's going to be some questions like how they need to adjust to your sourcing or deal criteria. And you want to impart the knowledge you've learned about how you make money and find deals into them. That takes time. So an hour a day, at least per VA, is the minimum I recommend. And if you've got that, 2 is fine. Also, in addition to that, per VA, you should have at least $4,000, if not $5,000 or pounds, available cash, ideally 10,000, and that would be cash, credit cards, loans, for example. And if you've only got like a few thousand, I'd probably get 1. Cash flow is the other big problem. Time and money, they're the 2 metrics. Hope that makes sense, Seth. Facebook, loving the new Seller Academy course, learned so much. Fantastic. Hey, honestly, really appreciate the feedback. And if anyone wants to know, the Seller Academy is a new thing we've launched. You can see information on the Fast Track FBA website. It's really all my processes, everything that I've learned, all the documented. So we have really, it's like 4 courses put together. Sourcing, admin, purchasing, obviously the usual ones you get with everything, but then you get business mastery. And I talk about my framework, and it's really my framework that I've used to build 3 companies. I use it in Fast Track FBA as well. But it's really about how your mindset, how you think, how you simplify the process of selling on Amazon, how you just and focus on the key measures, what you need to do to make sure that business is growing. I talk about mindset, I talk about building teams, I talk about like how we grow things, everything that we do, the why we do it, how to build great cultures, what we're looking at, all the processes. And then in addition to that, there is you get the USS as part of it, you get the lead service as part of that as well for 3 months. We really want to make sure that people know like how to grow the businesses from how we do it, but also so we get access to not only myself but my team. You get 4 calls a week, 4 calls. A sourcing call, you can drop in and talk to my sources directly. So if you want to help with sourcing, you got that. If you want, you can talk to my admin team. So if you've got admin questions like P&L, inventory management, stock control problems, you can talk to my admin team. If you've got purchasing problems, you can actually talk to my purchasers directly in a weekly support call. And then finally, business mastery, you can talk to me, and I'm actually doing 2 calls right now, one for the US and one for the UK, different time zones, and also my operations manager who manages my 2 businesses. So we're both there and obviously supporting you in understanding understanding it. So just want to say thank you. I'm glad you're really enjoying the Seller Academy, and obviously it's really good to be able to help you. So thank you very much. So, right, what have we got next? And obviously, if anyone is interested, you can have a look at that onto the, should we say, Fast Track FBA website. Let's kind of jump through. Mr. Shade Gaming. I love your content. What is your criteria for OA? And do I need a specific account for OA? So basically, OA is just a sourcing model. It's like how you supply. Like you don't need a specific account for it. To be honest, if you're trying to open multiple accounts because of different sourcing ways, you're probably going to get shut down. You're only supposed to open separate accounts for legitimate business reasons. If you've got private label and like another type of business, that's fine. So long as they never ever sell this or list the same ASINs. That's an important point. But again, I'm not you need to read Amazon terms and conditions. Criteria for OA, look, I think right now we did it. In the UK, we do 20% ROI, £2 profit. Don't quote me. I'm not too caught up in that. I just let the team manage it. Like within the Seller Academy, we talk about frameworks, how we manage it and what we're looking at and how we change it. The criteria does change. It depends on like cash spend, inventory management, times of year. We will play with that criteria. Hope that makes sense. Daniel's come in. Daniel said, to those that wonder how I did it, I listened to every piece of advice Thomas has ever given me. So I looked at his old content on YouTube. Oh my God, wow. Do you know I've done like nearly 1,000 videos, Daniel? That's incredible. The one thing which I say is, look, Daniel, thank you so much for, the solid, the feedback and obviously the, looking at my old content as well. And I know we've had a lot of conversations, but also as well, Daniel's really active in other communities. He talks in other communities. Also he talks with other sellers. And let's be really crystal clear. A lot of what I said, Daniel was quite like, should we say, not against, but like fighting with. It's like, no, I don't want to do this. I don't believe in this, and that's absolutely fine. But what did he do? He had beliefs, he had thoughts, and he asked questions around them. And let's be crystal clear: there is no like one way to sell on Amazon or build a business. There are so many ways. But for you as a business leader or a business owner, you've got to get the right way that works for you and the right beliefs and the way you're doing it and find. And the one, when finding people who are ahead of you is really, really important, and asking questions and doing it. And Daniel and I had many, many conversations, especially around the interviews, which were fantastic. And what was very interesting was Daniel's initial belief was you need to stay under the VAT threshold. There's no point going over. Like that was a very firm belief. And after a lot of conversations, and I'm not saying just with me, but with a lot of other people, he then said, right, I'm going to go over and here's how I'm going to do it. And the net result was, like, now his business has changed dramatically. And I think that's really important. I think that's a really important consideration. Why? Because he learned that, should we say, different ways of doing the same model, the different business. And definitely, maybe watch my old content, 1,000 videos if you want to, but also speak to other people. There's so many great people out there. But what I would really be very mindful of, and I'll just say this to anyone who's listening, is like, just make sure you're getting advice from people who know what they're doing and they have shown results, or they've shown that they've achieved something. And the reason why I say that is because I cannot begin to understand how many, when someone posts a comment about my VA is doing this, like for example in a group, the amount of really bad advice I hear, I'm like, oh my God, don't do that. Like it's going to be a disaster for your company. And the reason is because so many people are happy to share their opinions, but it doesn't necessarily mean that opinion's valid. Like you probably wouldn't go to your grandma about advice on investing in Amazon. Like she probably wouldn't know. Just make sure that you're very careful where you're getting your advice from. That's the only thing I could say. But Daniel, honestly, a testament to you, and obviously well done for what you've done. And thank you for the golden content. Wow. Right, let's go through. Benny, hey Benny. Hey Tom, how do you keep track of your spend with each of your funding sources? Do you use a spreadsheet? Yeah, so long story short, if you want to know, we talk, so two things, cash flow, fasttrackfba.com, cash flow. Oh my God, get it right. No, sorry. Fast Track FBA YouTube channel, the cash flow sheet. We talk about that. You can do anything in the cash flow or go to the cash flow sheet. If you are part of the Seller Academy, you'll get it for free. It's part of the admin course, or if you've bought the admin course, you'll get the cash flow sheet as part of that as well. And we talk in that YouTube video, we talk about how to actually do it. So the sheet's really useful. It helps you manage, record where all your cash is at one point, what's coming in, what's going out, what your expenditures are, and then it gives you literally just brings it all down and says, this is how much money you can spend safely this month or this week on stock to make sure you cover your bills, and that's it. So we use it now, right up to 400,000 sales per month. We've used it and it's worked absolutely fine. So yeah, I like cash flow sheet, fast recovery YouTube channel. Hope that makes sense. Galo Autos. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. I'm really bad with like names. Hi, huge fan here. Hey, thank you so much. Do you have any recommendations or criteria for ROI, profit margin, DSR for German market from the Philippines here? Look, I'd probably just, at the end of the day, I'd probably say minimum of like, again, put your prep fees in and the VAT cost because you're in Germany. Yeah, I'd probably do at least like 3. If you could try like 4 or 5 euros, see what you can get out of that. At least 30% ROI. If you can do that, fantastic. I think the German market is quite underutilized because of the language barrier. So I think there's a good opportunity there. So I'd probably do at least 3 euros, if not 4 minimum. 4 minimum, 30% ROI after fees. That'd be my thing. Sales per month, at least 5 minimum. That'd be what I'd after. Hope that helps. Shade Gaming. And bro, I would love if you made a Discord server. Oh my god. No, I know what you mean. I'm in a couple of Discord groups, but I will not lie. Like, I just don't ever use them. And the reason is I have no problem with them, and I think they're really valuable. And I know a lot of people get a lot of value from Discord and love it. It's too conversational, and unfortunately, I'm very, very strict with my time. If you've ever followed anything, like this will finish exactly on the hour. Like I will not, like maybe 1 or 2 minutes over. I never really overrun. Everything is time blocked. Everything is done. And the problem comes in conversational, especially typing conversations. They're very slow to interact. So even with my team, if my team is saying something whereby I have to write really more than 1 sentence, I would be like, can you leave this till the time we've got time together? So that we'll have the conversation in the fixed time. The reason is I just have too many conversations chit-chatting, and I don't want chit-chat. I want like, right, actions, what's going on there. That's the point. So that's the kind of thing I'd share. Like, I'm part of them, but I probably will never make a Discord server. Also, as well, the Discord community is slightly different from what my typical community is, which is like the Facebook side. And I know they probably generally don't. Like, if you're Discord, you're probably Discord and Twitter, and probably from the crypto space more likely, or gaming, whereas the Facebook slightly different. I'm not against it. I've never naturally fallen towards it, and hence I've never done it. But thanks, really appreciate it. Facebook user, how would you transition from wholesale to OA? Would you look at OA products having a restock, looking for a distributor from there? Any other different diversification? It's easy to go the other way. Oh my God, transitioning back. If I were going to do this, look, if I were you, what would I do? I'd look at my tops. I'd look at some maybe previous wholesale products that I found, and then maybe get a sourcing VA and ask them to go reverse source them on the OA market. That's it. That's what I'd probably do. That'd be the easiest way to do it. So find products which are sold well and do that. That's what I just do. Go do reverse source products back. Normally what you do is you do OA, you find great selling products, and then you go look for wholesalers to continue selling when the OA sells out. Yeah, that'd be my thought. Generally, what you find is a lot of like OA and wholesale is kind of interchangeable because the big brands buy the products as well, the great selling ones, and that's where you do well. But I don't know the answer. I think I'd just get a VA probably to just do the sourcing from it and reverse source from the wholesale product. But again, I'm not an expert at that, so I'm just guessing. Please don't take it as like gospel. Motivation Master. Ooh, Motion Master. Sorry. Oh my God, I just read what I want. How can we get VAT invoicing retail stores like Tesco's for retail arbitrage? Get in contact with them. Hi, can I have a VAT invoice? If you're doing retail arbitrage, you have to do it in person. So I think you have to go to like, when you print out the receipt of the checkout, if it doesn't have the VAT details on there, you have to go to customer service and they'll print you one out. That's the only way you can do it, as far as I know. It's a pain. It's one of the downfalls of retail arbitrage. Getting VAT receipts is a nightmare. But sorry, you have to usually do it in store when you're buying. Right. How do you stagger rebuying products quantities? E.g., I ordered 10 of a product and sold 5 in a day, so I ordered 20 more. Cool. I think you need to so the way I would think about the problem is I generally want to hold about, I have a lag time. So if I buy a product today, it's not going to go live. Let's call it 2 weeks. It's going to say, if I buy a product today from a Argos or Tesco or whatever, or Walmart, it's going to take 2 weeks before it's actually on sale on Amazon. So I need to make sure that at least a minimum I have 2 weeks worth of stock. And I probably want to have a little bit extra so that I can kind of see some sales before I reorder. So I'd probably say a month. Let's call it a month's worth of stock. So if I bought a 10 of a product and I sold 5 in a day, I'm going to ask the first question. The first question is this 5 a one-off, i.e. like something happened today and that's it, I'm probably not going to make another 5 sales the rest of the month? Or does it look like from the listing, keep a chart, sales rank, it's going to consistently sell 5 a day? Then I'm like, okay, cool, I probably want to buy some more products. So really what I'm trying to do is understand what's going on with the 5 a day, like, the sales of that product. If the product is doing well, we need to buy more. And if you bought 10 thinking it's only selling 10 in a month, for example, then you sold 5, you're like, whoa, I got my calculations wrong. Number 1, fix the calculations. Number 2, buy more stock. So, and then once I sold 5 in the day, so you ordered 20 more, I'll buy your 5 a day, you've only got 4 days worth of stock. So I'd be like, do I think it's only going to sell 20 in the month, or should I buy even more than that? So then obviously I'd go back and buy more. I hope that makes sense, but really I'm looking to make sure that I maintain the right amount of stock in Amazon at all times. And whenever I see sales going too fast, that would be a big kind of red flag for me to say, hey, do I need to buy more of this stock? Hope that makes sense. Right, Domingo. Hey Tom, how long do you hold on to stock before you decide to reevaluate, perhaps liquidate the products and inventory? Up to you. Generally, I think for me, 90 days. We hold it about 90 days. I think I met a guy who has days in Amazon inventory over 365. There's a top tip for you. If you go to Seller Central, go to the menu, it'd be inventory, and then I think it's inventory planning. And over the far right-hand side, you'll see what's known as days in inventory. Now, this is Amazon's metric, which tells you how long it thinks, if you were to do nothing right now, nothing changed, how long would it be for all your inventory to sell through? Like, how many days of inventory are you currently holding? So you'll have some which will be over this and some which will be under, but generally on average, what does it average out to, of all your range of products? So I think ours is quite low. I think it's like 35 or something. So it basically means the average amount of holding stock we've got will sell through in 35 days. The other guy had 365 days plus, so we didn't really know where it went. It was over a year. So basically it's saying Amazon are thinking that all his stock will sell out in about a year, which is, oh my God. Now, just be crystal clear, Amazon, when they had the COVID problems and the FBA warehouse problems, they introduced what's known as restock limits. And the restock limits were around the people holding too much inventory. And so Amazon is called a fulfillment house, not a storage house. So they want you to ship stock in and get it sold and shipped out again. Within like a month or two, that's probably about it. 60 days, I think, is their ideal. So when you're holding like more than that, that's a bit of a problem. So I think 60 is a good metric. 90 probably don't want to go above. If you're above that, you're really not turning your stock quick enough. It might be the case you want to hold it in your warehouse before you ship it to Amazon or like something else. But like in Amazon, you probably shouldn't be holding too long. And the other reason why I'm saying, especially right now, if you don't know this, storage fees you're paying for. But also as well, Q4 in the UK, storage fees are about 50% higher than what they were in previous quarters. If you look at you can look at Amazon storage fees in the UK, they're about 50% up. I think in the US they're about 25% increase, 30% increase. So you're basically per unit, you're paying more for storage fees in Q4 than you are in other times a year. So just make sure you're turning that stock and it's actually being shifted. You're not kind of like sitting there. That's what I'd say. And perhaps you might want to liquidate if it's not working. Hope that makes sense. Right, I'm just getting a lot of sales in the UK to EU and USM. Prices are adjusted to cover the extra film cost. I didn't expect this. Same for you. We don't do EFN. Like, we don't do it at all. I do no EFN sales. I think like we do 3.5 million in the UK only. Like, I think I just want to keep it simple. Like, EFN is another more complex. I have to do the repricing, then I have to do with like a whole load more of IP complaints, a whole load more of customer messages. Like, no, we just don't do EFN. So we don't see it, unfortunately. I know a lot of people do, but so long as you're covering your costs and making money, fantastic. Do you have a big list of successful products you just keep restocking over and over? Statistically speaking, we rebuy about 80% of our ASINs, but let's be crystal clear, those ASINs are ASINs that we've purchased at any point over the last 365 days. So we probably won't have them, like everyone talks about replenishables. 9 times out of 10, like, you're not going to find a product which you can keep buying forever and ever and ever. It just won't happen. It might be the case it's in stock during January and March, and then it comes back in stock in October and September. You've replenished it at certain times a year because they come on sale. I consider that replenishable, but some other people might not. I would consider that replenishable. So we do have those products, but you just got to keep going back over the data. Hope that makes sense. Facebook user, should a beginner based in the UK focus on the UK market from the get-go or look at the USA due to competition demand? Well, if you're already selling in the UK, I'd probably say keep doing that. Long story short, look, if I was going to start again, I'd probably start in the USA, but I would put a big caveat on that. I'd probably make sure I've got more than $10,000 or pounds in available cash and spend. And I was able to take it seriously. There is more margin in the US. We've definitely seen that, more opportunity, more sales volume. But the one thing which I will say is it takes longer to churn stock, turn it over. And then number 2 is the fact that you probably need a bit more cash to do it. There's higher fees in the US, like prep fees, accountancy fees, etc. You've got to create a company, whereas if you're a UK-based national, you can do it as a sole trader. It's cheaper to operate in the UK. It's up to you. If you're looking to get started, there is no harm, and I promise you, there's no harm right now getting started in the UK, making some sales, making some money, fantastic. Maybe get yourself to 10, 20,000, and then maybe take a chunk of that and go open up the US if you want to. If you look at my journey, what did I do? I started in the UK, I built a business, I hired a team, I scaled the team. They ran the business. I worked in 2 hours a week. I cut down my hours. I had time and we had money and we were generating money. What did I do? And then I used that money and that time to go open my next business, which is my third, which is Amazon USA. And we've grown that one. I think, start small, figure it out. You'll get there, honestly. Right, let's kind of go through. Musad, do you ever buy a few products and send it to test it yourself? Yeah, all the time. I don't really, my team do. But yeah, definitely. Absolutely all the time. It's a good idea. Abdul, hi, I'm a big fan of you and following the last 6 months. Cool, thank you very much. Can you let us know how we can ungate grocery and beauty categories as a beginner? Fast Track YouTube channel. We do loads of messages about ungating. If you can wholesalers. Oh my God. E-distribution in the US. Harrison's Direct in the UK. The wholesalers. Just speak to them. They'll you can buy products and get ungated. Very simple. Just make sure you got at least £1,000 or $1,000 worth of sales. That'd be my advice. We do loads of YouTube videos on it. Let's kind of jump through. Hey mate, I have a budget of 1,000. Would I be advisable to hire a VA or get a deal sheet? I'm an investment banking apprentice trying to grow my capital. Thanks mate, keep up the good work. Cool, thank you. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. You can start, especially if OA, you can start with 1,000. If I want to be I would really recommend try and get yourself up to 3,000. The reason why I say that is because if you've got 1,000, let's say for example I definitely wouldn't recommend getting a VA at all, and I appreciate I sell them. You could do a deal sheet, it's absolutely fine, but I think you need to try and keep your costs low. Deal sheet, you probably look about £100 minimum. Say for example £100 for a deal sheet. Let's talk about £30 for the Amazon selling account, and let's call it £15 for something like SaaS Seller Amp, which is going to be your tools, and it's kind of got keeper charts built in, so you can keep it really efficient. And so really, that's about £130. Now already you're using 13% of your initial inventory before you've even got started. Now let's do some other calculations. Remember, if you watched earlier on in the YouTube live, I talked about it takes about 3 months to churn your stock. So you need to cash flow your business for 3 months before you start going to make money. So let's talk about it. Leads for 1 month, that's £100 a month. Seller account, £30 a month, that's £30. And then tool, £20 a month, for example. So we're already looking at, let's call it £150 multiplied by 3 months. You're now looking at what, £450 you've got to pay in just costs before, and then that you need to be able to subsidize and to generate. Now, let me put it this way. If you've got £1,000, you've already spent £450 on services. And by the way, you don't make money from services. You make money from buying stock and selling stock, and those services help you with finding that stock, but it's the stock which makes you money, not the services. So long story short is that if you're going to have £1,000, you're only really going to be investing £500 over the course of 3 months into stock, and now you've already got £150 overhead per month. I just don't think it's worthwhile. You can get rid of the lead service if you want to, but again, you're going to have to get really good at manual sourcing. If you want my advice, what it might be, the option is a little hack. Let's give you a little hack to really help you out. Keep saving, get to 3,000. That's what I'm saying. Number 2, start an Amazon selling account right now, £30 a month. Buy SaaS, it'll be £20 per month. And for the next 3 months until you get to 3,000, every day spend sourcing products. You're not going to buy a single one of them, but you're just going to refine that sourcing process. You're going to find it, share those deals with people and get feedback. Is this a good deal? Is it a bad deal? Last thing you want to do is go and buy a deal and invest it, and it's a really bad deal and you can lose out. Buy the deal, see what happens. It's like stock picking, but look at a deal, record the deals when you want to buy it, come back in 4 weeks' time. Would I have made money? What would have happened? Learn from it. And what's really interesting, if you do this method, you can go back to Amazon. Don't quote me. I think you can write a seller central case after 3 months, for example, and say, hey, Amazon, I've not actually been using my Amazon selling account. Any chance I could get the selling fees back? I've heard stories that Amazon have refunded selling fees if you've never sold anything. So what you can do is you can quite simply just use the the tool for 2 months, get selling fees back, and then you've got 3,000, and you've got 3 months of experience in sourcing. Now you're basically using that 3,000 minus 3 months of £20 for the SaaS things, the SaaS fee. You're not paying for Amazon anymore, and you probably have a range of deals that you can still buy because you found them. Now you can hit that business hard. I appreciate it. You want to get going. Everyone wants to do this, but my advice for you is I don't think 1,000's enough. Hope that makes sense. Benny, great answer to cash flow. Just signed for Seller Academy. Fantastic. Yeah, look at the Benny answer. Great, and I did mention that because obviously I thought it was you. Obviously, I recognised the picture. Yeah, so obviously fantastic to see you in the Seller Academy. Obviously, any questions, let me know in the weekly support calls. I'm here. But also number 2, check out the admin course. Obviously, you have access to that, and there'll be one area about cash flow, and you'll be able to get the sheet free of charge. And in there, it will have the video about the cash flow as well. So. Right, I've got 8 minutes. I do need to get going, and there's a lot of questions, so I'm going to quick fire through. Hey, Tom, how are you finding USA marketing compared to the UK? Think of expanding next year. Really good, love it. I've asked myself and 2 other big sellers who've done both UK and US what would they do, and they all say USA. They prefer it. I think it's great. The only big problem I'm seeing right now is we're struggling with credit and loans. We do $1 million right now in the US, and we're still not getting great loan offers. It's a nightmare. So you've got to get credit ratings. It takes time, but we will get there. But yeah, I do love it. Also, cashback's great. Like, I'm making a lot of cash back. So I really do enjoy that. If you are interested, fasttrackfba.com, go to resources and courses. I have a getting started in USA course where I document my whole LLC creation, how to do it as a foreigner, not having to go to the US, creating business, bank accounts, etc. It's like 20 videos for $100. It's really good, and loads of people have used it, and it's really helpful. It talks about corporations, tax structures, why I did what I do, what you need to consider, and what you shouldn't be doing, sales tax and accountancy and prep centers. So check that out. I think you'll like it. Moo said, do you sell groceries? Probably. I don't really check. My team do it all. Yeah, we did 50k in purchase. It was a good week last week. 50k in purchases. Couldn't tell you a single thing we bought. I know it's really bad. Facebook user. I'm starting out as a solo entrepreneur this month, and I'm doing alongside full-time work, investment sales. Appreciate it's not financial advice, but would you funding via loan to be a good idea to aid with growth? My goal is to replace. I'm guessing you're saying like your income. Look, long story short is, I just talked about £1,000 starting out. Fine. Look, I would probably get to 3, save money. And again, it's probably money you're willing to lose. Statistically, most businesses fail. But let's be really crystal clear. I do not ever recommend taking out loans, credit cards, anything like that, using any form of leverage, unless you understand your business is making money. Leverage is very powerful, but if your business is not making money, you're now putting money down the drain, which obviously you're going to owe. But if your business is making money and you know it, and there's a difference, just because STK or whatever it says you're making money in there, doesn't necessarily mean you're making money in your accounts. Be very mindful of that. You've got to, it's your accounts. Your accounts are like, yes, I'm actually making money. That's an important point, not just some profit software. If you do that and you feel confident you know what you're doing, then fine, take out loans. Remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Make sure you know your numbers. That's the most important thing I can ever say. But good luck. By the way, if you've got 1,000, you just want to start out and start testing, absolutely fine, no problem. Just do it. Abdul, I have a new Amazon seller account and struggle to find out a good product for OA using different methods like reverse sourcing, not getting good results. Yeah, agreed. It's hard. It's really, really hard. I promise you, it's hard. Keep going. If I give you a number, new VAs who just started in the Fast Track FBA Academy, first month, we recommend 2 to 5 deals per day that we're actually going to buy, and that's after they had training with my team. That's 2 to 5 deals per day, 8 hours a day. That's it. Like, it's not like millions, so just be mindful. It's hard. You got to keep going. Gigs, orders under 250, you don't need a full VAT invoice, right? As a VAT registered business. Check with your accountant. I'm not a tax advisor. My understanding is kind of right, but you still need a VAT number. And that's what I think you're trying to get around. You're trying to say, can I use the order confirmation email? And the answer is no. You still need basically, whether the supplier gives you a simplified VAT invoice or a full VAT invoice, you still need certain VAT details, which you will not get on, certain other bits of documentation. So speak to an accountant. You do need to check. If you want to ask me, I think you need an invoice for every single order. That's what HMRC say. Other accountants might say slightly different. Speak to your accountant. That'd be my advice. We get them for probably about 80% of our orders. We have proper invoices. There's a reason why I have 6 full-time admin VAs. There's a lot of invoices to fetch. Alexander, £100,000 is nothing. Yeah, I agree. and again, I appreciate that for me, £1,000 now is like, it's fine, doesn't matter. But like when when I first started, £1,000 was a lot of money. Like, I appreciate it. It's all relative things. Flips for Miles, love the channel. Thank you so much. Thoughts on Seller Amp? Absolutely love it. I think it's a great tool. I think Al's done an amazing job. It's very like, it's fast. Let's say speed. Fast is really good. It's got a lot of flexibility, and I do like his keeper charts. And the thing at the end of the day, when you're going to get started, and I talked about it earlier, I think it's one of the best tools you can buy to start off, and it's a great price point. It works. It's always being developed. I love that. And I also just think it's fast. I think, I don't think you could stress that enough. I've tried other tools where they're slow. It gives you the information you need. And I like the fact you can customize it. Yeah, I like that. I definitely think it's a great product. So yeah, well, and obviously I've met Al, and I've spent a lot of time with him as well, and I know, and also I think it's quite nice to see that there's the developer of the software is also a seller, or has been a seller, so understands it from a seller's perspective. I really like that as well. So keep up great work, and obviously keep doing the videos. Flip for Miles, absolutely love it. So thank you. My God, I've got 3 minutes. Let's go. Hi Tom, you mentioned your profit margin is about 5% for UK. What is it for USA? USA profit margin? It flexibly has been about 7 and 12. Don't quote me exactly. Like, it does change. We don't include cash back on that. One thing you've got to realize is, I talk about my UK is 5%. Everyone's like, wow, that's amazingly low. Let me ask you a question. I make 5% with no money down and 2 hours a week. That's the fundamentals. I.e., I'm using other people's money, credit cards, Amazon loans, etc. I get cash back on that. I get a lot of points. I get to travel the world. Like, literally, I'm a platinum status Marriott right now because I spent 2 months in hotels for nothing. And then also as well, I work 2 hours a week for a business which generates 5%. Like, we're talking 5 figures a month in net profits I get to take home for like nothing. Like, there are different ways to play the game. At lower levels, I probably wouldn't ever recommend doing 5%. When you're doing 6 figures a month, 2 hours a week, yeah, I wouldn't even worry about it. It's not a problem. So yeah, fun. Let's go through. Someone did UT, big smiley face, cool. Let's go. Hey Tom, do you have any strategies increasing buy box? I've noticed over the past 2 months that it's gone down. It's increased. There's some videos I've done about it, but long story short is, you want to be looking at don't look at that. Go into the individual SKUs and Amazon, Seller Central, business reports. It'll be like sales data, and then you're looking at the buy box percentage for that individual ASIN. Don't look at like Keeper, SaaS, Seller Amp is great. They're all for estimations. It's only when you actually go into the back of house do you see the real data which Amazon's sharing with you. Like, this is how much you've won it over the time period you've selected. And then you want to use that information to go like, are we winning the buy box? Are we not getting the buy box? And if so, then look at the repricer and see what's going on. Look at the listing. Look at the listing through an incognito mode, not through your normal browser, because it will change depending on who you are. If you're in the US, just be very mindful of the case that your buy box is dependent on the zip code of where you're coming in from, so what you put in, because it will change. There's a couple of things, but like, you've got to keep playing. I can't give you anything, but that's the areas that I'd look at. Tried many times, I haven't found OA product. Keep trying. Welcome to the OA. It's hard. It might sound suspicious 1,000 times, but I'm a newbie. I want to ask if Amazon asks invoice for a particular product. What's the go-to method? Get the invoice. Get the invoice. Speak to the supplier. Get the invoice. Done. Trust me, we've sent in many Amazon like Argos, Walmart invoices, IP complaints. Fine. Can you share genuine wholesalers, EE distribution in the US and Harrison's direct in the UK? There you go. Fine. Oh my God, I got a great fire through. Tools are absolutely necessary for beginners. Yes, don't do it on your own. SaaS, Seller Amp, completely agree. I think you're wasting your life if you try and do it manually. Don't bother. It's not worth it. Mars is an OA legend, 100%, completely agree with that. What is the hourly rate for VA? If 8 hours a day, then you find 2 to 5 deals. Is it worth it? 2 to 5 deals to start off with. After a while, they get better. My God, 6 months down the line, different level. Hourly rate for VA, I don't know off the top of my head. Monthly, UK, £400, 40 hours a week. So it's £400 a month. US, about 500. Top of my head. Cool. Yes, you and Arrow 2 people have a lot of respect. Cool. Thank you very much. Thank you. And Xin Chao, how do you deal with orders? How do you deal with order, cancel, trial, your 3 measures, but still call them? I promise you, like, you're never going to have to get rid of all of them. You've got to call them. You've got to find out what's going on. And then that is it. Like, honestly, you got to call and find out. And at the end of the day, some people are just going to cancel. Boots in the UK, my God, good luck. Like, I'm never going to do it. If you can't get through it, you've got to change the name. You've got to try everything, keep trying. By the way, this is a challenge. If you overcome this challenge, what's it going to mean? It's going to mean that if you overcome this challenge, it means you're going to find the answer that everyone else is being rejected for. So what does that mean? It now means that you can buy from that supplier and everyone else can't. That's a unique value proposition or a unique way of you working. So appreciate the cancelled orders, keep trying, keep calling, keep trying to find out ways, change the name, change the address, do whatever you want to do, different prep center, etc., different card, different account, different IP, doesn't matter, mix it up. If you can find a way, fantastic. But also after a while, if you can't, screw it, move on, next one, spend your money where they want it. I can't remember the rest of it. It's like Xin Chao, An Quer Com, Bat Dang Lam Zi, like a bit of my Vietnamese there. Right, I can give you I can give daily 1 hour to your channel for learning and daily how to learn things. Not sure. Cool. Yeah, follow the channel. Right, 2 minutes past, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you know that I'm a big fan of time boxing. Unfortunately, my time box has now expired, so I just want to say thank you very much for everyone joining. It's a bit of an ad hoc live. I will see you same time next week. Drop your questions down, get ready, drop them down, and I'll see you next week. And if there's anything else, have a great day. But obviously, I look forward to catching up with all the Seller Academy people. If you are interested, is on the Facebook Fast Track FBA website. You can see more information about that. But really, I just want to say thank you to everyone of you joined. It's been a real pleasure, and I'll see you same time next week. Keep smashing the Amazon business, and good luck with Q4. Bye.